100 years ago, when workers in West Virginia and all over this country were forced to work 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, when kids were working in the mines and in the factories, working people came together to form trade unions so they could have some dignity on the job. And that's what happens when people come together. 100 years ago in this country, and the kids don't know this, women did not have the right to vote, did not have the right to get the education or the jobs they wanted less than 100 years ago. But what happened? Women stood up. Women fought back, and with their male allies, they said, you know what, in America, women will not be second-class citizens. Hundreds of years ago, amidst the abomination of slavery, African Americans and their allies had a different vision for America. Some of them went to jail, some of them died, some of them were beaten, but they said that in America we will end racism, segregation, and bigotry. If we were here in this room 10 years ago, which is no time at all from an historical perspective, and somebody jumps up and says, you know, Bernie, I think that by the year 2015, gay marriage will be legal in 50 states in this country. The person next to him would have said, you're crazy, not going to happen. Not going to happen. But because the gay community and their straight allies were prepared to take on bigotry and hatred, we succeeded in making gay marriage legal. If we were here 5 years ago, somebody jumps up and says, Bernie, you know, a $7.25 federal minimum wage is a starvation wage. We have to raise that wage to $15 an hour. The person next to her would have said, $15 an hour? You want to more than double the minimum wage? You're nuts. You're thinking too big. It can happen. Maybe $8, maybe $9, 15, too high. But you know what happened? Workers in the fast food industry, in McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, went out on strike. They stood up and they fought back, and then 2 years ago in Seattle, Los Angeles, San Francisco, $15 an hour minimum wage. In Oregon, in California, New York State, $15 an hour minimum wage. What is my point? My point is that ideas today that seem so radical, raising the minimum wage, making public colleges and universities tuition-free, providing health care to all people as a right, having paid family and medical leave, ending a corrupt campaign finance system, addressing the crisis of climate change, making sure that women are paid equal pay for equal work. making sure our kids have jobs, not jail cells. All of these ideas today, they seem radical, but they are not radical. They are ideas that, in fact, are supported by the vast majority of the American people. But they are not supported by the billionaire class, by Wall Street and corporate America. This campaign is asking millions of people throughout this country, working people, middle-class people, young people, old people, gay people, straight people, black, white, Latino, Asian American, Native American. Making certain that the Donald Trumps of the world do not divide us up. Understanding that when we stand together, there is nothing that we cannot accomplish. Now, on May 10th, there is going to be a very important primary here in West Virginia. And what we have learned in this campaign is when there are large voter turnouts, we win. When there are low voter turnouts, we lose. All right. That's what I want to hear. I hope that on May 10th, West Virginia will have the largest voter turnout in the history of the state. And I hope very much that West Virginia will join the political revolution. Thank you all very much.